and we'll take some of your calls and all this stuff. Let me say this about Al Happen of this whole situation. This whole thing's a mess, as we know. That detention bond was put up, and they called it the O'Neill rule, because people worried about his reputation, and the idea was he wasn't going to steal the Belmont stakes. Now, no one knows really what happened here. Did that detention bond, did his inability to handle his horse or administer anything to his horse in the last couple of days before the race, did that mean he wasn't going to race? I know people who think that. I know people think he wasn't working his horse real hard the last couple of weeks, that once he knew the detention bond was up, that he wasn't going to race. But no one can say that. I mean, you can't say that with any... I mean, you can speculate it, but you can't say that with any certainty. No one knows. That's the thing. You don't know. We'll never know. You don't know. I know people saying, well, why did they put that bond up? They put that bond up because they wanted to make sure that they ensured a clean race. Now, did that bond preclude him from racing? Who knows? We don't know that. If it did, I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, we know that this is a cat-and-mouse game. Just like we deal with athletes in the Olympics, with athletes in all professional sports, there's the cat-and-mouse game. Beat the test. Stay ahead of the test. That's what trainers do, just like they do in every other sport. They try to stay ahead of the test. Does somebody have something that works that stays ahead of the test? Who knows? You hear all this crazy stuff, and we don't know that the horse is hurt, not hurt. He's allowed to scratch his horse. They scratch their horse. That horse is not examined by anybody else. That horse is not examined by the NYRA and their vets. Nope. It's an owner scratch. He's allowed to scratch his horse. So, are there people who feel he was scratched and he wasn't really hurt? Yes. Are there people who know that? Can anybody say with any certainty? No. Did the horse have the beginning of an injury? Maybe. Oh, who knows? Who knows? We don't know. We'll never know. All we'll know is this. He didn't race. He didn't race. Could he have raced? Who knows? Who's to say? Did he have an injury? He said he had the beginning of an injury. Said he could have raced, but why take a chance? That sounds noble. That sounds noble it sounds like, wow, he put his horse before his own ambition. He didn't, he didn't try to attack the Triple Crown. If that's true, good for him. Is it true? I don't know. We'll never know. Did the detention bond change everything? Who knows? We'll never know. So again, we wind up with no Triple Crown. And what I would suggest is that since we can never get everybody in racing on the same page, get the 3 races on the same page. The 3 races and they've never even dealt as a block. You know that because they were on different networks. Okay? Deal as a block from this standpoint. Whatever procedure you all agree on, make it the procedure for the entire Triple Crown. Okay? So, if the horse is going to be in the detention bond after Wednesday at Belmont, create the same scenario at the Derby, create the same scenario at the Preakness, so that the horses are dealt with the same way for all 3 races, and therefore something that may have been done to a horse before the Derby cannot be done before the Derby again. If that was the case, I don't know that it was or it wasn't. But make it the same so that we know that the horses that came through... See, here's the problem. The reason that was put in, because they said, hey, nobody's going to do anything to a horse before the Belmont. We're going to make sure this is a clean race. Well, then you're saying that in Kentucky and in Baltimore, they didn't make sure that their races were clean. Make sure all 3 of them are clean from now on so that we don't have this kind of problem where we're wondering about what's going on, because we know those horses passed those first 2 tests. Are there guys out there who think the reason he didn't run is because of the detention bond? Yes. I've had people mention it to me. Yes, they are. There were people out there saying this guy never put a work into his horse. He wasn't serious about racing. I don't know if that's true either. He said he had a different way of running. I don't know that. We don't have any answers. We have questions. We got a million questions. We got a million suspicions. We have no answers. And we're not going to get any. So can I sit here and say something, Doug O'Neill did this? No, I can't. No, I can't. Can I be suspicious? Yes. Am I suspicious? Yes. Does it prove anything? No. I don't have any answers. I don't know what happened. Do I know if he was really hurt? No. Will we ever know? No. So, he goes back to California, and you don't have a Triple Crown run, and hopefully the next time we'll have a horse that if he came through the same procedures at the first two races as the third. Now, if they think the first two are too harsh, why? If they think what they did in New York is too harsh for Kentucky or Maryland, tell us why. Why? Why is that too harsh? Why? I saw people blaming the detention bond. Well, we would have had a Triple Crown run if they didn't do that. Well, thank them for that. Don't knock them for that. Because if that's the reason it had... Now, don't tell me he got hurt because he left. It was in a detention bond. I don't buy that for a second. Now, I don't buy that for a second. Now, if you're going to tell me he didn't run because of the detention bond, well, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Because the Triple Crown's special. And you don't want to find out 6 months from now that, and we probably never would have found out. Because if he had gotten through that, if we didn't have this detention bond, he probably would have been able to do whatever he needed to do, if that's what was going on. And I can't say it was, because I don't know. Can I have some suspicions? Yes, I definitely can have suspicions. And I do. But it doesn't mean I'm ever going to get any answers.